Good morning from Mount Rainier National Park. This is Steve with my hiking buddy Gino.
Hello.
Today we're on the trail to Grand Park, one of our favorite hikes at Mount Rainier. It's a little after 7. We just turned off the headlamps. We're in the mini meadow that is a prelude to Grand Park. We're going to traverse this, and then at the far end we're going to enter the woods again and make a climb up to Grand Park proper. But let's see, we started at what, Gino, about 6:20, 44 degrees, hiked up to Lake Eleanor in the dark and then down to this point in the dark, and so we had the headlamps on for about 45 minutes, but they're off now. Gonna be sunny, blue skies, no smoke, so we're looking forward to it because this trail always has spectacular views of Mount Rainier. So as always, hope you enjoy this one. Thanks for hiking with us. So after that meadow, you head into the woods and make a long traverse to the southwest, a short switch back to the northeast, and then back southwest, and then the trail makes a steep turn, or hard left turn, heads up this notch, which has a lot of fall color. And we're on the approach to Grand Park. Should be there in about 5-10 minutes. This is kind of a neat area through here. Hillside's covered. A lot of yellow today. And up above. Okay, we'll check in at Grand Park in a few minutes. Some fall color as we approach Grand Park. As you can see, the trail's leveled out. We're done with our climbing for this part of the day. Some orange, reds, yellows. Probably doesn't look as vibrant as it can because we're in the shade here, but definitely fall. We've entered the northeast corner of Grand Park, and that is our view. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? Wow. Sun hitting the eastern face. Pretty morning, and I don't know if my video will pick it up. There's a bit of frost in the air. Or on the ground, I should say. So we're heading this way. We'll check in a bunch of times, I'm sure, as we head toward the southern terminus of this trail in Grand Park. Gino, what do you think, my friend?
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold, but what a view, huh?
No smoke. Oh, a little bit of smoke.
Little Tahoma to the left there. We saw Mount Fremont earlier. I'll get a shot of it down the line. And Gino just commented that I guess it was 2 days ago on Mondays, the road to Sunrise closed. So if you're going up to Sunrise, you either got to go this way, which is a very long way to go, or park down at the White River Campground and climb up 3 miles from the campground into Sunrise. So we're not going to see anybody coming from the other direction this morning. That's for sure. Okay, we're continuing on toward the Silver Forest up there. And then we're going to gradually make a sweeping left turn, and Mount Rainier will be more in front of us than off to our left, like it is now. We'll check in a bit. Well, it's real nice in the sun. Boy, the temp's gone up about 10 or 15 degrees, and I don't know if I can shoot it without it being blurry. But that little structure way up on the top of that mountain, that's Mount Fremont, and that is the Fremont Lookout. A very popular hike out of Sunrise. But Gino made a comment, there's no frost over here in the sun, and the temp's probably gone up about 10 degrees. Feels good. Okay, we're still heading toward the sweeping turn to the left, and then Rainier's going to be more in front of us. More snow on it this year, Gino, than last year.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Rainier's right to the left front of us, but off to this side, it's just a big... This is what Grand Park's about. It's just a big meadow up here. See Steve's shadow there. Hiking man Steve. Woo! Trail's real narrow in here. It's kind of like a trench. But just a spectacular area up here. Gino asked me if I brought my golf clubs. We always joke, it looks like a golf course, doesn't it? Okay, we'll check in a bit. Trail turns to the south eventually, and this is your view. Isn't that something? Stop stop here for a second. Our trail is right there, heading off into the distance. We're going down to that set of trees down there. But this is why it's a favorite of ours. Just spectacular setting and views. So you hike along and you just see this as you hike. Okay, we'll check in a few more times along the way. I wanted to give you the lay of the land as we cut through Grand Park. That is Mount Fremont with the lookout on top. There's Little Tahoma. The kind of triangular shaped peak is Skyscraper Mountain. And there's Mount Rainier. And there's our trail through Grand Park.
Don't forget Burrows.
And, oh God, I forgot Burrows. That's the kind of the lower hump there, below, to the left and below Little Tahoma. Correct, Gino? Isn't that it? Yeah.
Second Burrow.
So Gino had a good point because Fremont is closer. And I'll see if I can get both of them in the... Oops, I'm going the wrong way here. So Skyscraper's to the right, Fremont's to the left. Skyscraper is actually higher elevation than Fremont. But because Fremont is closer to us, it appears higher. So just a little Gino trivia tidbit for you. The man who knows all.
Yeah, all of nothing.
Okay, and I'd say, Gino, it's about a 10-degree difference between the shade and the sun.
Yeah.
We were hiking through the shade back here. There's a set of trees to our left, and it got kind of chilly, but here in the sun, it's really nice. Okay, we're heading toward that forest, and then we're going to head down the Northern Loop Trail and go about a half mile to an overlook that overlooks the White River. We'll check in a bit. I told Gino, who would have thought that mid-October we'd have a bluebird day like this. No bugs, little cool, but in the sun it's nice, and just blue skies and sun at Mount Rainier in mid-October. Who would have thought it? What a day, huh, Gino?
Yeah, where are the critters?
No critters. And then I thought I'd swing around and just show you, this is Grand Park. I'm going to head toward the sun here, so it might blind you a bit, but you can see it's just a big open meadow. And doing a 360 here, there's where we've come from, that way. You can see we're in the shade back there. And then to our right, the tree line is pretty close. So we will continue on, getting close to the Northern Loop Trail. So we've come from that direction. We've hit the junction with the Northern Loop Trail. Now we're going this way. Got about a half mile downhill to the viewpoint. I was telling Gino, usually when we come up here, we start so early like today that we're the only ones in Grand Park, other than the camper at Lake Eleanor. But with sunrise closed, I told Gino today that, gosh, we're probably the only two people in this corner of the park for quite a ways, I would think. But kind of cool to think about. We have this awesome place to ourselves. Okay, we'll check in at the White River Viewpoint coming up on the Northern Loop Trail. And we've made it to the viewpoint high above the White River on the Northern Loop Trail. White River down below us. You can probably hear it roaring. Let me be quiet for a second. And you can barely make out, way off there, looks like the entrance to a cave. That's the Natural Rock Bridge. It's like one of the arches in Utah. It's a natural rock bridge. It's right off this trail, but quite a ways away. But what a morning. Wow. Oops. Little Tahoma and Skyscraper Peak to Skyscraper Peak to the left. There's Mount Fremont there with the lookout tower. So it's 8:30. Took us about 2 hours and 10 minutes to get here. A lot of stops for photos and videos, and we're going to take a break, have our snacks and water, and change some shirts and admire the view. And it is nice in the sun, very, very mild. We'll check in a bit. Take a view of everything before we depart. Beautiful morning, huh, Gino?
Yep, can't ask for better than that.
Nope. Well, we've got to turn around and go back the way we came. A little bit uphill on the northern loop back to Grand Park, and then after that first mini meadow, we have an uphill little bit up toward Lake Eleanor. Most of the way it's downhill though, Gino, or level. So
long trip.
Yep. I think it's about 4.5 miles out this way. So we will check in along the way. Break time is over. We're going to head back. So we're back at the trail intersection. Just FYI, if you went this way, you would head over and go down into Berkeley Park, and eventually it curves around and takes you up to Sunrise. We are heading back in on the trail through Grand Park. And if you park up at the Lake Eleanor trailhead, just remember, coming out this way, Rainier is in your face the whole way once you get to Grand Park. Going back, it's on your backside. So make sure you take lots of time to turn around and check things out. Looks like a golf course, doesn't it? A brown golf course. Okay. We'll check in plenty of times on the way back. Like Gino said, it's more like mid-September than mid-October. In the sun, it's really gotten nice, warm. We're heading in. We're not going this way. Just stopping and taking a look at our favorite mountain. And we'll get a couple more before we drop out of Grand Park. Like Gino said, we get into the shade of this forest here, and he says, who opened the freezer door? It's cooled down quite a bit from being out there in the sun, but we're going to start being blocked by trees here as we head back through Grand Park, so I wanted to get one unobstructed view of Mount Rainier before we start back by the forest. What a day. I mentioned this earlier, this is the trail is like a trench through Grand Park. And stay on it. Don't be a meadow stomper. But you're down a bit here from ground level. And it kind of pops up closer to the surface. Kind of interesting. And I mentioned it earlier, I don't think I took a video, the Silver Forest, which is, there was a forest fire up here, and there's some burnt trees that are still standing. Nothing on them. Kind of interesting to look at. So we're approaching the end of Grand Park in the northeast corner of Grand Park. Wanted to get one final good view of Mount Rainier, a shot there. We've come from this way. And a little Tahoma again and Mount Fremont off in the distance. But as you can see, not a cloud to be seen. A couple jet contrails, but that's it. So we couldn't have picked a better day to come up here for mid-October. Our extended summer is continuing. But anyway, we're just about through Grand Park, and then we will descend down to the mini meadow and then up to Lake Eleanor and out. So we'll check in a few times along the way. Haven't seen anybody, not sure we will. We'll be surprised if we see a lot of people today. Maybe we'll be surprised. Okay, we'll check in a bit. We're starting to descend out of Grand Park, so I wanted to get one last shot of Mount Rainier. And we will bid adieu to Grand Park and Mount Rainier for this hiking season. I don't think we're going to be back up to, well, I know we're not going to be back up here to Grand Park this year, but I don't think we're coming back to Rainier till next spring. But it's been a great hiking season up here. So we are headed down this way. It looks like a road, doesn't it? Double track here.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, and it's all downhill from here to the mini meadow. This is that area I filmed on the way up. It's we're in the shade again, but a lot of reds and oranges and yellows here. Trail descends here toward the mini meadow. But yeah, just the sun's still blocked by the trees. It's still early enough in the morning. I think it's about 9:30, and just don't have the light on them that would really illuminate them. But you can kind of see a lot of red and orange here. And look what we've run into. A bear, and he's a big one. Where'd he go, Gino? Oh, he's up,
He's in between
heading
the
out.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy, come out.
He's just kind of foraging. Whoa, easy, easy does it.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm on a hill trying to get a picture of this thing. He's heading out.
Yeah.
Oh well.
He's had enough.
I almost had enough there falling down this hill. It is steep. Okay. Little excitement here. Not like the last one where I walked into it, but he was a big one too.
Oh, yeah.
So the little pond in the mini meadow is dried up. This is the mini meadow, and quickly wanted to explain what happened back there. We were coming down that V-notch. It's real steep, and I was a little bit ahead of Gino, and he saw a bear off the trail to the left. And I turned around to go back and film it, and I didn't have solid footing, and the trail's so steep there. And I was trying to film, watch the bear, film the bear, and I was trying to reposition myself so I was steady, and I just kept slipping and sliding and stumbling and bumbling. And Gino was laughing later. He said, I should have hollered out as you were falling, run! And then people would see the video and think the bear came after us. But no, the bear was eating and foraging and didn't even pay us any attention. So we're going to traverse this meadow where we enter the forest over here. We got our last climb of the day up to Lake Eleanor. And, well, we're not going to be right at Lake Eleanor, but close to it. Over to Lake Eleanor and then out to the car. That's about a mile from Lake Eleanor out. So it's a little before 10. I'm guessing 10:30, 10:40 when we get back to the car, depending on how long we stay at Lake Eleanor. And so far, no hikers. This may be a first. We will see. We've always seen a lot of people on this trail. Maybe we'll see no one today. So we'll check in up at Lake Eleanor. And we've made it back to the calm, still waters of Lake Eleanor. The bear pool is empty, so the person that was camped here is gone for the day. And it's about 10 after 10. We're going to take a short break, and then the mile trek back to the car should get us there before 10:45, I would think. It's all downhill. But no hikers on the trail this morning. And it is a beautiful morning. So I'll check in one final time when we get close to the car. Well, we're just about done. Got about 100 yards to go. You actually go to Grand Park, you enter from outside the park, past that sign, and then you're within Mount Rainier National Park. So, the hiker count is 2. We did run into 2 people here between the lake and about halfway back. Talked to them for a bit. They kind of had us worried. They were asking about Gino's car, and we thought, geez, did it get broken into or something? But no, it's fine according to them. So anyway, it's about 10:45, so a little under 4.5 hours to do this hike. But what a great hike, huh? Grand Park, one of our favorites. Hope you enjoyed it. We saw a bear. I almost fell trying to film it. That was exciting. And I'm not sure where we're going to go next week. I think for the year, we're done with Mount Rainier. Road to Sunrise, as I mentioned, is closed. Stevens Canyon Road is closed. I just think we're going to probably stick along I-90. Weather is staying nice, so we'll probably maybe do something up in the Alpine Lakes next week. Who knows? But when I can, I'll film. But like past years, kind of do less filming in the winter months just because of the weather and dark. But like I said, hope you enjoy this one. As always, thanks for hiking with us, and we'll see you next time.